It's so bright.
No, we're in the Brian-mobile.
We saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
And it was awesome.
It was so good.
It's so good. Although it did look like Brian and Irving were really jamming out to their movie, but I guarantee you ours was better.
Brett had to go in there to get the keys from Brian, and he thought it was so funny how the only white people in the audience they were, that after our movie got out, he went in to look again.
I did. And there were more white people in there this time around. Admittedly, a lot of them were wearing backwards hats like me. And then there in the front is Irving and Brian, with Irving sitting there going... So obviously it was... Actually, that'd be funny if it wasn't a musical scene going on and he was doing that.
I was trying to blend in.
So that's part of what made my night. I was going to try to work it out to where I saw both movies, but one, that's a Brian and Irving movie. And two, their movie's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm already tired from fucking True Detective Season 2 last night.
Stayed up until 4:30 watching the rest of the series, hoping that it would make some sort of sense.
It never did. And it wasn't because I was tired. It just never did.
Are you sure it wasn't because you were tired?
I'm positive, because it was keeping me awake, like, so much so that, yeah, I finished at 4:30. I was awake for another hour, because my brain wouldn't shut down, because it was still working overtime. Mm-hmm. Some guy in the comments was like, maybe you just have ADD or something, because I found it easy to follow, which, maybe he has a point. I am ADHD. Maybe he has a point, but if that's true, then so is 90% of the people who have the same complaint about that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, sorry.
I was feel like chalking it up to ADD is, because one of the symptoms of ADD is actually the ability to super focus on stuff, which is why I think that you're so good at remembering details from movies. So I don't think that ADD would have anything to do with it. I think it's just needlessly complicated.
Are you gonna watch it and find out?
Nope.
You'll love it.
I'll just have you recap it for me.
Oh god. What's a 30-minute rant I put online earlier?
So before we go into The Man from U.N.C.L.E., I want to say that you should go watch it.
Yeah.
Going in cold is the best way to do it.
Have you ever seen the show?
No.
Actually, me neither. Well, I saw one of the TV movies. Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E, I think. I watched it because it had George Lazenby in it.
Was George Lazenby playing the Henry Cavill part?
No. Lazenby, it was just a cameo.
Oh, okay.
He was playing James Bond in it. Like, there's one part where, like, there was a period in, like, the early, mid-'80s where Lazenby would kind of randomly show up and stuff as James Bond, but they could never actually call him James Bond.
Uh-huh.
That was the case here, too. Like, so that happened in this. He had like a Bond car in it. There was an episode of 80s Alfred Hitchcock Presents that Lazenby played James Bond, but every time it said his name, there was always some background noise obscuring it. So he technically played Bond more than once. I guess
that's better than calling him, like, Blames John.
Yeah. Right?
Only slightly better than that.
Yeah. They would be like totally unsubtle about it. Like, on the Man from U.N.C.L.E thing, like, he drives away and the girl in the car is like, Her Majesty's Secret Service! Lazenby's like, yeah.
That was me.
That was
allegedly.
You're right. No, I love, first of all, I love this kind of movie.
Me too.
I love this kind of movie. I'm like this sweet 60s pulpy, like, kind of like some stuff you would see in the 60s, usually out of Italy, where it was like not James Bond, but like Operation 007 or like Danger Death Ray or, you know, things like that. Like, I like that. The fact that this movie even has kind of a spaghetti western soundtrack is really cool. Like, it's just fun and charming and entertaining as hell.
See, because you were definitely picking up stuff like that and I wasn't, but like, I do like this kind of movie. In the sense of, I like a spy movie, I like a sexy spy movie, I like a sexy 60s spy movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is, like, right up my alley.
Yeah, no, That's what I was saying too, just by dropping Operation 007 reference.
Because like it seems like Guy Ritchie must be in love with that kind of movie too, because it was definitely it felt right.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does, because it has fucking personality and charm to spare. And I love. It's been a while since we had a good old 60s US and Russians teaming up against Nazis to stop warheads and shit. I haven't had a good movie like that in a long time.
And a good 60s love story where it's just
Yeah.
a guy being a complete sexy prick to the girl until she falls head over heels in love with him. Except I don't want to spoil stuff this early in the review. Go watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
Hello! So, like, because they don't end up, like, they don't have, like, the orgasm, I guess, of their love story, which makes it so much better, because they kind of, like, alluded to a sequel at the end, so we get to keep watching that. But then, during the credits, they're showing, like, their, all the different spies, like, profile dossiers or whatever, and it showed hers, and it had, like, the languages she knew, and then under the bottom it had, like, beginning to learn Russian.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cute. It's subtle.
Yeah, it's got, like, all of the sexual tension of, Bond and a Bond girl, or just spy and spy movie girl,
So
but
much
not...
more sexual tension than Bond and a Bond girl.
Oh, yeah, because,
They
I
were,
mean...
like, falling in love with each other, too, and, like, they had really good chemistry.
And there's also no, like, and there's also no, like, Goldfinger, like, they end up together by submission. Shit like that, you know? Like him and Pussy Galore in the barn and shit like that.
Yeah, because, like, there's one point where he's, like, picking out outfits for her, and it does feel very 60s, and that sort of, like, I'm going to dress you like a little doll, because that's what women are for.
Well, that
But
doesn't match.
It's different because she holds her own in that situation while still adhering to that era sort of love story, you know?
No, absolutely. And even the fact that the villainess in the movie is this, like, 60s femme fatale out of, like, a Modesty Blaze movie or, you know, something like that. So there is sex in the movie, but usually it's with someone terrible.
And they didn't really show it. Like, what was this movie rated?
PG-13,
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure it was.
That would make sense, because, yeah, there were some brutal things happening. Like, there was one point where there was a torture scene
Oh my God.
with Henry Cavill that was brutal, but without being gory or graphic, you know? Because he's being tortured by this, like, a Nazi scientist.
He's being basically like Dr. Mengele.
Like, shows him a scrapbook of all the atrocities.
Holy
he's
shit.
made, and then gets to the last page is blank. He's like, this one's your page. This whole page just for you.
Yeah, that scene is part of why I love this movie so much, because every scene in this movie has a different spin on where you think it's going. Like, that scene, for instance, you have Henry Cavill strapped in this chair, and instantly when you watch it, you think, like, okay, Armie Hammer is gonna come in, he's gonna save him from this doctor. Of course, Henry Cavill's not gonna get killed in this scene. But it goes in this direction, which is exactly what you said, where you learn about this Nazi doctor's past from a scrapbook, from, like, this horrible family album and shit, and it's surprisingly graphic.
It starts with, like, pictures of him as, like, a chubby little German baby, and then goes into, like, what appeared to be actual documented Holocaust pictures, like close-ups of eyeballs with dye in them.
It's like looking at Mengele's Wikipedia page. Like, it's horrifying.
And meanwhile, he's, like, using this foot pedal to electrocute Henry Cavill's character. And they're making it kind of weirdly zany, because the electric current keeps shorting out, so he has to go and find where the short is, but then he finds a short, and Henry Cavill starts being electrocuted horrifyingly.
Oh, God. This scene ends incredibly zany. It ends with this horrific death scene with this doctor. In the background, where he's on fire. It would be like that scene in, you remember that scene in The Green Mile where they didn't put the sponge on dude's head, so he was, did you not see Green Mile?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Spoiler, there's a horrific electric chair scene in the movie, which ends with dude on fire. It's like, that if something zany was going on in the next room and you just saw that in the background.
Because, like, in the foreground, Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer are discussing what they should do with this doctor. Like, on the one hand, he's, like, a wealth of information. On the other hand, he just torture the shit out of me, and he'll probably, like, break a deal and be able to get out in, like, a couple months and, be able to go out into the world again. Meanwhile, the guy is electrocuting to death behind them in the window.
Engulfed in flames. They turn around.
They only notice until like the glow of fire on the side of their face, and Henry Cavill says, "Oh man, I left my jacket in there."
It's really funny.
In this awesome, like, Rod Serling flat 60s voice that he used for the entire thing.
Oh god, Henry Cavill is so charming in this movie. He's like, that 60s, like, George Reeves, which is kind of funny because it's Henry Cavill, but like this 60s George Reeves, like, well, this kind of cheeky, smarmy 60s handsome kind of.
I loved it so much.
Me too. It was great.
You felt like it was going to be a love triangle between the two dudes and the woman, but Henry Cavill's like, nope, you can have all of that. I'm gonna. That was gross. Why did I do
tap
that? There's a spider on the dashboard. I killed it with my hands like, man. He's like, you can have all that. I'm going to have sex with all these other women over here.
I'm just going to have sex with all these other women over here.
Leave you to your amazing love story. Okay, I loved Henry Cavill in this movie, but Armie Hammer.
Oh, I love that the two of them are in this movie because I like both of those actors, but I usually see them in something that I don't like. I love Armie Hammer. I thought he was great in Social Network, and I like the Social Network. I was not a fan of the Lone Ranger, but I mean, he did what he could with the material that he had, and like, and I'm like, man, I really want Armie Hammer to take off so bad. I mean, it wasn't the Lone Ranger, and Henry Cavill. I'm not a Man of Steel fan, but the guy's obviously got charm to spare. Like, even seeing him in this movie, it is kind of like seeing like a 60s Clark Kent, sort of, mixed with like Lazenby's James Bond, and like, like Don Draper of Mad Men was made in the 60s.
It was so good. And like, both of the guys are just so charming and charismatic that it actually felt like a buddy cop movie.
They have great chemistry. They have such good chemistry in this. And yeah, it's like they're both playing for opposite sides, but they gotta work together. So yeah, it's totally a buddy movie. But it's so funny, and like, if you just even split them up individually, the movie would still have charm to spare. But you put them together, like,
oh
my god.
There's like a car chase scene where like they're driving away with Gabby in this seat, and both of them are trying to chase it, and they've both got their own ideas about the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And so you're following this car with fucking Henry Cavill in a dune buggy.
Yeah.
And Armie Hammer in a motorcycle, kind of like scoping out the situation and then driving off this way so you can cut him off at the pass. And then at the end, it is bam!
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's this that fight is even kind of brutal. Like, suddenly it turns into John Rambo, and it's kind of great.
It's like, and then Armie Hammer picks up a motorcycle and just beats the guy with it.
I love Armie Hammer's revenge face in this movie. There's so... Fucking Christ. There's so much stuff in this movie that is pissing Armie Hammer off.
And it's not even, this is like nothing in his face, but his hand starts going.
Yeah.
And like you can hear it tapping on stuff out of scene, or like they focus on it, and then he beats the shit out of three Italian guys.
Yes, because he's got to beat up something. Might as well beat up these guys, which that's on them for even trying to mess with him in the first place.
Dude, he was like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah, man, go to the ladies' room. We're just chilling over here, all combined 6 feet of us.
It's like those 3 punks at the beginning of the Terminator trying to fuck with Arnold. Nothing clean, right? And like... and whenever, like, Armie Hammer gets uber pissed off in this, it's, like, zooming in on his face, and, like, background dialogue is kind of fading out.
Like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's almost like Uma Thurman's revenge face in, like, Kill Bill.
I can see that. Yeah, you could have expected, like, sirens to start going off.
Oh, God, yeah, totally. And there's this, like, kind of... running thing in it where he's trying to get back his father's watch, which is stolen from him at the beginning of it, and there's a guy in this plant that he thinks is wearing his father's watch.
So he like sneaks up behind him, and Henry Cavill's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, he holds his hand on one side of the guy's head. All of this silent. The guy has no idea he's foostering in his locker.
Yeah.
Just wham! Smacks him on the side of the head, and the guy's like, "Kuh," and just falls asleep standing. He's like, "He'll be fine.
Up.
20 minutes, he'll be back on his feet."
20 minutes, he'll be fine. And it's a good thing that happened, too, because they found the secret button.
Which happened to be in his locker.
Yeah.
Which happened to lead to a safe that Henry Cavill's character happened to know how to pick in 2 fucking minutes.
Yeah, like there's an amazing, and that leads to this amazing boat chase sequence, which, again, a scene where you're expecting it to go one direction, and then it I mean, it does, but it takes like a detour, which is awesome. And the detour it takes is Henry Cavill gets out of the water and finds a truck, which happens to have a nice bottle of booze in it.
Which we should mention though, like, because they escape out of the place in a boat, and so Armie Hammer's driving the boat, and Henry Cavill's kind of clinging on the back, and Armie Hammer's like, "Just watch this, cowboy, watch how I roll," and then Henry Cavill falls off the back, climbs up into the truck.
He climbs up in the truck, turns on the radio, this sweet, like, Italian music playing, and Cavill just suddenly, he puts, like, you know, the napkin in, like, his shirt, has this sweet, like,
Finds like a bottle of Chianti and a sandwich in a basket.
Bites a sandwich. In the rearview mirror, you see this action sequence going on in the
boat,
background.
Like, and then the chase boat, and then back and forth, and then the boat explodes, and Henry Cavill's like, starts up the car, and you think he's driving the truck away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he drives it into the water.
Like, onto the chase boat.
Oh, no, yeah, he drives it onto the, it lands on the chase boat.
And the truck starts sinking, and he uses the headlights to find Armie Hammer in the water so he can go out and save him. And it's an important plot point, but it's also hilarious.
It's also hilarious and so 60s charming as hell.
Because it's like the first point in the movie where he decides, okay, I'm gonna save him instead of just fucking off back to my hotel room.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant was pretty good in this movie.
Hugh Grant is, every great movie is made even better with Hugh Grant being in it. Hell, bad movies, while still maybe bad, or at least a little better with Hugh Grant.
They played Love Like, Hate Like on Doug Love movies recently with Hugh Grant, and a lot of the guests were hard-pressed to think of a Hugh Grant movie that they loved or even liked.
Really?
Yeah!
I can think of some. I can think of ones that are bad, but I love this movie.
Yeah, this movie is a love.
Yeah, this movie's totally a love.
And the only thing I could think of was fucking Love Actually.
Yeah, I like Love Actually. That's a good movie. Hate?
Mickey Blue Eyes.
That was bad. I mean, I'm going from memory, but I don't remember liking that.
I remember it's the only movie I ever walked out on.
But you got to admit,
20 minutes in.
It would be even worse without Hugh Grant.
Probably. I can't think of a worse movie than Mickey fucking Blue Eyes, but...
Hate, like, 9 months, maybe?
Notting
or...
Oh, Bridget
I
Jones's
like
Diary.
Notting Hill. I like Bridget Jones's Diary.
It has not aged well.
Oh, really? But he's so good in it. I love sleazy Hugh Grant.
Yeah, like when he was doing interviews, when he was doing that movie, he's like, I really like that I get to play an asshole in this movie.
Oh, sleazy Hugh Grant's awesome. Oh, Cloud Atlas might be hate like.
I still need to watch Cloud
that
Atlas.
movie. Wow. You get to see Hugh Grant as a Korean. You can never pass that up.
I need to, because I actually saw a preview for it for the first time a couple weeks ago. It was before a movie that I checked out.
I was there. We were watching something on DVD.
Yeah.
And that was the preview in front of it. And
I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's Cloud Atlas. Oh, you're going to say that while you're watching the movie, too. That movie, I think I said to you something like, Cloud Atlas is technically better than Jupiter Ascending, but I would probably rather watch Jupiter Ascending.
I create life!
And I take it away.
I need to buy Jupiter Ascending so I can watch it
is
again,
out now.
just to see if it's as hilarious the second time.
Oh, I'm sure it is. We get a group together and watch it. Oh,
We'll do it for the Christmas party this year.
Hell yeah. Jupiter Ascending and Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
Yes.
I hope that this movie is like because it wasn't extremely packed in there, but I hope it's like
I hope it does well.
I hope it does well. I hope it's like a good sleeper hit, you know?
So they'll make a sequel.
Yeah, because I mean, it clearly sets the part in the preview where Hugh Grant says, "By the way, codename Uncle." Like that's the last line of the movie.
Yeah.
I even watching the movie, I was like, "I bet that's gonna be like the last line of the movie." Which even that's way better than how they tried doing shit like that in Fantastic Four last week. Which one sequel? Okay, for Fantastic Four, but at the end of it, they're like, we should come up with a name for each other, like. I don't know. And one of them says some stupid name and thing is like, that's kind of fantastic. What was that word you said?
What?
Fantastic. I got it, guys. We are the Fantastic ending credits.
I got it, guys. We are the Fantastic Foursome. We are the Fantastic Friends.
We are the Fant-Four-Stick. Just like...
Four-stick.
Just like the fucking poster says.
But, like, everybody go and watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm gonna go see it again.
I would watch this movie again.
So they'll make a goddamn
would.
sequel.
I really, really hope they do. I mean,
so I need to watch Armie Hammer and What's-Her-Face almost kiss some more.
Yeah. And Hugh Grant be charming in the face of danger.
That's my only complaint about this movie is I have, like, romance blue balls from... Because they never fucking kiss.
They have really good chemistry, too. They do. Like, honestly, everybody in the movie does. Everybody's got... Hell, even the villain couple has good chemistry
They
together.
do. They're kind of cute together.
Honestly, yeah. They're just doing terrible things.
And then it ended up being her downfall, because, like, they murdered her husband, and then they're trying to find the boat that she's on, and so Henry Cavill's, like, getting on the horn, because apparently if they can keep her on the radio for long enough, they can pinpoint her location. He's like, so, I just wanted to let you know I murdered your husband.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you that he died an honorable death.
But that didn't happen.
But that didn't happen. There was a lot of crying, offering up anyone or anything in return for his life. And she goes like, give me the phone. So she goes this huge epic villain diatribe. He's like, there's a bomb headed your way. There's
a bomb headed your way. We've been tracking you for 10 minutes. In fact, the bomb took off, I want to say 10 seconds ago. Oh God, I love that kind of delivery. You know what? Because of his performance in this, Henry Cavill would make a fantastic Manimal.
Manimal. I could see that.
Oh yeah, he could pull off that McCorkindale,
like the piercing eyes.
Yeah, the charm smug. Hell yeah.
The butter won't melt on him. Is that the phrase? Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. That's what it is.
I need to go back and watch some more Manimal. I haven't watched that in a couple of years.
Watch some more. There's only so much.
Oh, I mean...
Well, you watch the same one again.
Which is the same episode over and over again. Whenever someone watches Manimal and they say, I want to watch some more, unfortunately they have to watch that Nightman episode. This is great for the Manimal scenes. Unfortunately, Nightman's in it.
Isn't it like his daughter or something?
It's the plot of Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell. Like, where... You remember that movie?
Jack the Ripper?
Yeah, it was...
I liked that movie.
It's a great movie. Then you'll love that episode of Nightman because it's the same plot. Because McCorkindale comes back as Manimal, but it's done more serious than the show was, even though the plot's 10 times more silly, if that makes sense. But it's played straight.
Nightman tended to be, yes.
Oh, yeah. So it starts out in the 1800s, and Manimal's there, and finds Jack the Ripper, and they travel into the present, because in this universe, Manimal can time travel.
Okay, I was about to say, did Manimal have time powers? And, like, maybe there's an animal...
certainly did not.
Okay, so he turns into a water bear, alright?
No, he turned into a panther
and goes
again.
into stasis.
No, it was some, like, necklace that he had or something like that. If I remember right, but of course he just turned into a panther again. But it was
a time panther.
Terrible CGI, and he follows Jack the Ripper to like present day, and he and Nightman track down Jack the Ripper because Jack the Ripper then like kidnaps Manimal's daughter.
Was it the same like buddy cop situation as this movie, or like him and Nightman have differing opinions, but then learn to work together as a team?
No, it's like this awesome episode of Manimal that fucking Nightman keeps interrupting.
Fucking Nightman.
God damn it! Go just play your sax and go away. Shit.
Did he play the sax?
Yeah, I think so. I think Nightman played.
Just like standing up on a rooftop, Batman style, but like
Kinda. From what I remember, yeah, like he hung out at like some like jazz club or some shit like that.
Duke Silver style.
Yeah, but 90s, like way 90s. He had like a Dan Cortez thing going on. Well, I moved on from Man. Well, now I guess I want to watch Nightman. Unfortunately, it's not on at midnight sharp anymore.
So, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, highly recommend this movie.
Like, could not recommend this movie more. It's definitely gonna be on my top 10 list unless the next 10 movies I watch give me blowjobs. Are you listening, Hollywood?
Well, maybe some of the movies next week might.
Which ones are we seeing next week?
Well, the one that you got the trailer for the first time tonight, Hitman.
Oh, right! Hitman Agent 47.
Should we do trailers?
Yeah, we might as well. Man from U.N.C.L.E, go watch it. You should have watched it before when I told you to watch it, so... Yeah,
so that's
Man
on
from
you.
U.N.C.L.E. Well done, you. Okay, Everest, which you missed because you went out to go to the bathroom.
but
I'm sure you've seen it before.
I've gotten that trailer like 10 times.
Like man versus mountain, and they're Australians, and they can't breathe, and they fall down a bunch.
Good cast. I like Jason Clarke. I love Josh Brolin. It's a solid cast. I'm sure the 3D is really good in it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be gorgeous. I can't stand a movie that's going to make me that stressed out.
And it's a 2.5-hour movie,
yeah,
too.
I'll have a heart attack at like minute 45.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be fine.
I'm sure they'll be fine. Okay, 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. I think must be the full title, because that's all that was on the screen. Otherwise known as John Krasinski's Beard is Sweet.
I'm wondering if, first of all, I'm only seeing that movie, well, one, because I got to see every Michael Bay movie, and two, because I want to see hard-ass Krasinski.
Yeah, he's pulling it off. Like, there's a point where he's got the gun pointed and it's kind of, like, wiggling a little bit.
Yeah.
But past that, he's got, like, the stone face, he's got the big bushy beard. But, you know, growing a beard like that, like the brown Santa Claus beard, that is not something that all men can do.
Krasinski does, but he's got the eyes to pull it off.
Well, I have to wonder if maybe it's like a face wig.
Oh, it's like a fake beard?
Yeah, because that beard is perfect, and not many men grow a perfect beard.
I can vouch for that.
I'm just saying, you know, because like it's
not everyone can grow like
it's the exception to the rule, is what I'm saying.
Glorious Brian beard.
Yeah, but even Brian's, it's like it kind of like patches down through here, whereas Krasinski's looks like someone drew it on him Wooly Willy style.
Oh, like the best beards ever: Ron Silverbeard and Hart Bachner from Die Hard. Ellis.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The glorious beards.
Bubby, I'm your white knight.
Hans, Bubby. Hey, John Boy. I was watching The Entity once with Brian. Actually, you might have been there too. I think it was at the old place on MacArthur.
Could very well be.
We were at like halfway through, just suddenly Ron Silver's on screen. Like halfway through, Brian was just look at that beautiful fucking beard.
Brian is a beard connoisseur.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, Hitman Agent 47, which I had not heard of prior to this.
And then I lean over, it's coming out next week.
Well, because they show the guy with like I've never played Hitman, but
I have a couple of times.
I tend to, when I can't have a hard time falling asleep, I'll watch Zero Punctuation, who does like video game reviews. So I've heard of Hitman as I'm falling asleep. But I seem to recall he liked that one.
I've played it, and
this is the first time I'm hearing that movie. That does not bode well.
I've gotten the trailers for it a few times. The guy in it was really good, and he was on Homeland, and he was really good in Homeland. I've played the game here and there. That was always kind of a game that I was just kind of dicked around in. Like, I'm just gonna go off on a rooftop and shoot some people. Like, it was just kind of a dicking around game. I never ever completed any of the Hitman games. I honestly didn't mind the Timothy Olyphant movie all that much. Like, granted, I didn't see it since it came out, but I remembered thinking, like, for a video game movie, this isn't that bad. But
this looks like a spectacle. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, this looks. I'm guessing this isn't in continuity with that. I'm guessing this is a reboot.
It looks like a spectacle because most of the previews just like him like shooting a bunch of dudes and like bending over into a back bend and shooting some dudes behind him. The preview at any rate was not very plot heavy.
No.
Just like, there's a hitman.
Yeah, done and done. Maybe the next time they reboot it, it can be Statham.
Statham's getting too old for it, though.
For Hitman?
Yeah.
Statham's in his mid-40s. Nah, he could still do it.
He's just a little craggy. Maybe he could do it. He's definitely, like, it looks like Statham. It just looks like a younger Statham.
Mm-hmm. Just get Statham.
The Walk.
That looks
the
stressful.
tightrope thing. No, I could probably watch that because the stressful bit, okay, when he's walking from here to here, but the rest of the movie kind of looks heisty, and I like a heisty movie.
I know, it does look really heisty.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt I adore, and I'm adoring his little French accent.
There's
his little turtleneck.
It looks like, yeah, they're just gonna rob the World Trade Center. No, they're just gonna, he's just gonna walk across it.
Walk on it. And like when he's setting up the stuff, and he's just kind of like, scampering across, like, on the ledges around the thing. It's like, oh no.
I know, I'm like, dude, don't do that. Like, dude, come on, man. Come on.
I turned to him and asked him if he was gonna watch it, because I know you're not a big fan of heights.
And that movie looks like it's in spectacular 3D.
They mentioned in spectacular 3D.
Yeah. No, but I mean, normally I'm like, with movies, I'm fine. It's because, like, I don't like airplanes, but I don't mind watching a movie that's got airplanes in it. But
so scary.
Don't go in there, Passenger 57. So this movie, like, it looks very high up in what will probably be like the preview said, spectacular 3D, so I might be extremely nervous in this. I was very nervous in the scene in Mission Impossible 4 with Tom Cruise scaling the building.
I just bought that movie and watched it the other day. It is just as good. But I think they should put that on the poster for The Walk. It looks very high up. Brad Jones.
Looks extremely high up. I don't like this. This is making me very nervous.
I don't know about this, Brad Jones. The 33... Which, okay, the Chilean miners movie.
Oh, that. Oh, God.
Yeah, see, that to me looks terrifying. Because I know they get out. Because I watched the news.
I don't even remember when that happened.
It's in 2010, per the preview.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was trying to think, like, do I remember that? I can't.
It's just like the whole Chilean miners thing.
Oh, okay, I think I do. But it looked like because usually whenever there was one of those mining disaster movies, there would always be some, like, TV movie about it or something. Like, the following week there would be on, like, NBC or some shit.
I'm sure there must have been. But this looks...
But, this looks like a good version of that.
There's a lot of, like, displays and, like, people huddled in control rooms, like, the rock that fell is the size of 2 Eiffel Towers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they say a couple stuff in the trailer where it's like, that is the stone of the mountain's
That is not a rock.
heart.
That is the heart of the mountain having finally broken.
I'm not sure if that person actually said that in real life.
I'm sure he did. Only probably in Spanish.
And I'm not sure about Bob Gunton's accent either. I've seen way too many Bob Gunton movies to know he does not sound like that.
Who is that now?
The warden from Shawshank Redemption, Ace Ventura 2, the guy who Jim Carrey was torturing by doing the thing with his eye.
Yes.
I knew I would get you Ace Ventura 2 of all Bob Gunton. Remember him in Broken Arrow? Who, you never saw Broken Arrow?
Nope.
With Travolta? That's a good movie.
I've seen Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls several times.
I know you have. Yeah.
And you must be the Monopoly guy.
So it just beats the shit out of him.
La da 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 da.
My God.
This is a lovely room of death.
But, yeah, I don't know what else you might have seen Bob Gunton in, but yeah, no, I knew Ace Ventura would get you. Or Ace Ventura 2, sorry. Was that it? Or was that...
We also got The Intern. Although this was a different preview than we've gotten for The Intern previously, this preview made it look watchable. Because it was less like cutesy almost love story between the two characters and more like why he decided to be an intern and why her life is kind of weird. Plus in this preview it turns out she's got a kid and a husband, so I'm less worried that they're gonna like end up together.
That disappoints me. Did they ever say what the movie was that like Maggie Gyllenhaal got turned down for because she was too old to play the love interest of a 55-year-old?
No, I don't know what it was.
My new favorite thing though is, did you hear about this Rose McGowan stuff?
No.
Where Rose McGowan,
I like Rose McGowan.
I like her too. Rose McGowan was given a script for a reading to go to, and they told her to wear some like revealing clothes or something like that, and she posted it on Twitter and was like, "Yeah, that's funny." And then like this led to a big controversy, and she got let go by like her acting agency. Like the whole article's online, but like my favorite part of this story is one, her saying, "Oh yeah, it was a movie." I won't say the actor's name, but it rhymes with Adam Manhandler, Adam Sandler. And she was giving an interview, and she was talking about the part. She said, like, she was like, yeah, the part was for a supermodel who's obsessed with Adam Sandler. And then, this is a written article, so it was basically like if the reporter described the face you just made. Like, there was a noticeable sigh, and This is my new favorite story.
Well, because now I'm going to have to keep my eye out for that movie. I'm going to have to try and figure out what that movie was that Maggie Gyllenhaal must have gotten turned down for.
I know what movie the Adam Sandler one is.
Which one was that?
It's a direct-to-Netflix movie called The Do-Over or something. It's like him and, I think, David Spade decide they're unhappy in their lives, so they decide to fake their own deaths and take on new identities, but oh no, the people whose identities they've taken are in big trouble.
That's fine. You know what? That's fine. I don't have to watch it.
It's direct to Netflix. We don't have to see any of his shit now.
They're living their lives. You know, go do them. Mm-hmm. But I also need to try and figure out. Do you remember that Patton Oswalt bit about how he did a reading for, like, the sassy gay friend?
Yeah.
And he said that he'd do it, but only if he got to make the guy a fucking idiot. And they're like, no, you can't do that.
Ow! I know what movie that was. That was, like, Kate Hudson. I don't remember the name, but she's, like, dying of cancer or something like that.
He said one of the lines in the movie was, "We need red wine and popcorn, stat!"
I hope that is in the movie. I saw the trailer for that movie, and I was like, oh, that's the character right there.
Yeah.
That's him.
Who did get to play him? Did you remember?
It was a black dude. I can't remember who.
Okay.
But, like, it was the sassy gay guy in the trailer, so I'm guessing that's it. We're totally killing time now for the boys to get out of their movie.
Yeah, Brad's gotta wait until they get out.
I gotta wait like another hour.
They got it at 8, and it's 10, which means that, yeah, you got another hour, buddy.
I got like another hour. I'm gonna walk down to McDonald's and get like a hamburger or something.
I'm gonna go home. Put on my gym jams. Think about how awesome Man from U.N.C.L.E. was.
Fuck yeah. I'm just gonna rewatch the movie in my head as I'm waiting for him. Alright, next. I love the music in the trailer is also in the movie. I love that. I love it when that happens. Next week is Sinister 2, Hitman, and American Ultra.
I want to see American Ultra.
Yeah, go for it.
Bam.
I'm sure I will be at Sinister 2.
So the stoner sleeper agent. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't suck.
Like it's this year's 30 minutes or less.
30 minutes or less wasn't bad, as I recall.
Were you at that one?
Yeah,
okay.
That was me and Irving, I want to say.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Because yeah, it wasn't like fantastic, but it had some really, really funny bits. And it had Aziz Ansari in it, I want to say. And
yeah,
then,
so did Epic.
I think it was the same guy again, wasn't it? Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, it was Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Maybe I'll watch that sometime. I'm surprised I remember the title. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go get a sandwich. Later.